Yes, in general, I would imagine they're healthy for a couple that is ready to go their separate ways and move on with the next phase of their life.
should I do?
What should I do?
What should I do?
What are my rights?
What are my rights?
What are my rights?
A legal course of action.
A legal course of action.
A legal course of action.
A legal Morse of action.
Oh, slow frame rates.
Yep. That's the actual footprint.
So good.
So good, right?
That was fantastic. Who did that? Did you do that? I want slow motion of Kitchenkillaz. I want like Kitchenkillaz slow motion, slow frame rate per second walking past the building that we don't own.
You gotta get Red Bottoms to do it, though.
I'm right. I'm down. I'll rock some heels. I'm a confident person. I don't even care.
Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, to a brand new episode of Legal Morse of Action. This is episode 5.
Ooh, Empire Strikes Back.
Billy Strikes Back.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it is Thursday. It is 5:35 p.m. We are doing this
Do you know where
live.
your children are?
We are live. They should be listening to this podcast. That's what they should be doing.
I did ask myself that question one time in college, and luckily I didn't have to ask myself that question ever again. She wasn't, so I was good to go.
No.
Wow. Wow.
But no, tonight, as always, we are joined by Attorney Morse. How you doing tonight, Erin?
I am good. Today was a busy day.
Good.
But
It
We
was
like
a
busy
busy,
days.
quiet day.
yes, ironically, both busy and quiet.
We
It
like
was-
busy days here at the office.
It was tranquil. It was chill, and I heard early, like right before we started recording, that you got a lot of work done today.
Yes, we did. We did. A lot of times there's a lot of interruption and pop-ups, time vampires. So those things
Time
can
vampires.
Yeah, that's what those are, right? Because you get
They are.
unfocused.
That's a great term.
Yeah, you like it?
I do. I'm gonna borrow that.
I'll throw a few more at you.
Yeah, I can catch.
So yeah, we got a lot done.
A lot was done today. Christmas cards went out. I'm excited about that.
So many
That was a
Christmas
productive day.
cards.
Like those days where you
So-
check so many boxes.
So
Like,
many Christmas cards, but no paper cuts. I honestly.
Oh, you got the thing, right?
No, I did everything by hand, and every stamp. I mean, every envelope. I used a wet sponge.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to say you didn't lick all the envelopes, did
No,
you?
no. I
That
didn't lick
tastes
them before I
terrible.
shipped them. I did not do that.
You could die like
You
in
could now you
Seinfeld.
right? Thank you.
That has been stuck in my head since I seen that episode when I was a kid. I will not lick an envelope.
Never. Never.
It's because George didn't like that act.
Well, no, George wanted to save some money and got the cheap expired envelopes. And they were apparently toxic. That killed Susan. Oh my God.
I didn't really like Susan. I mean, Susan was okay.
No,
She had her moments. She had her moments.
I
She wasn't
liked
good
her.
for George. She was sometimes good for George.
Who
Is
was
George
good for George?
anyone?
George
Right.
wasn't good for George.
Is George good for everyone?
I think Marissa Tomei.
She's
Marissa
good for
Tom-
everyone, though.
Oh, Marissa Tomei is good for everybody.
She is.
But tonight in studio, we have a very good friend of mine, a close friend of mine.
Oh, Erin Morse. Thank you for joining us tonight.
You're
I'm so happy to have you.
We got Billy Floyd from the. You know what? I can't do it because
you can do it.
I
I just
try
need
to
somebody
remember.
to say for free.
for free.
Yeah. I can say Billy Floyd and the Commodore, but then at the very end, I need you to say for free. That's all
I will do
cool.
I'll do the Commodore and the free.
What's up, everybody? My name is Billy Floyd, and that is the Commodore, and we are the Kitchenkillaz, classified as a touring acoustic duo, crashing kitchens around the country. We do it every Friday, and we do it.
For free.
Bingo. The great Commodore is home right now, getting the studio set up for our rehearsal. We have a fantastic show tomorrow. We're going to be streaming live on Patreon for our Patreon followers tonight when I get home. What's up, my man? That's a nice shirt.
But no, this was literally last minute. Like all this happened within the last 24 hours because we were going to have someone else come in, but unfortunately
They died.
wow. No,
They
I hope
licked
not.
the envelope.
They licked the envelopes. Bye-bye. That's it. Poor
we're-
Susan.
We were supposed to have a local comic on the show tonight to talk about just shoot the shit with us and always have a good time. But unfortunately, he was not available. And literally, as I walked into the house last night, Billy, how you doing, brother?
We
How's
got
everything
to
going?
We were
level
watching
up.
Mandalorian.
We were.
We were catching up on Mandalorian.
Oh,
Patio's like, yo, quick favor. Can you do me a favor? I'm like, yeah, what's up? He's like, would you mind being a guest on Legal Morse of Action tomorrow? I was like, sounds good. What time?
Patio Dugan.
That's the rock and roll. Oh, the old Patio Dugan.
But no, like I
That's one
was
of my favorite ones. Thank you so much for coming up with that.
I was confident enough that you were going to say yes because I was literally at the point of just like nervous breakdown, like trying to find a guest last
Sure.
minute. You've dealt with that.
Oh, dude, we deal with it all the time.
And I'm sure you deal with last minute changes to court hearings, clients not being on time or being there when they've already been told to, and emailed and text messaged?
Court in person was a lot worse for this because they had to get through security, they had to park, they had to go somewhere that potentially they had never been.
Yeah.
All kinds of chaotic things, which is why I really hope we don't go back to in-person hearings.
And it is like coming from the point of view of the person that needed to be there on time, that is not familiar with the parking, not familiar with the buildings or the tickets or the elevators or where to go. Like, it can be pretty overwhelming.
Well, yeah, and especially in downtown Orlando, you have the parking situation there.
It's all one way. If you miss it, you got to spin around and make 37 right-hand turns.
And it's almost unclear because all of the signage says jury parking.
Yeah.
So people think that it excludes them as not.
Of course. If it says jury parking, I'm like, well, I'm not part of the jury.
Yeah.
This clearly is not my parking.
Yeah.
But it is the general public parking as well. So
Wow.
It's I remember working for a criminal attorney back in the day where we would tell them ahead of time, call them the night before, text them in the morning, hey, just to remind you, you got a court hearing, in courtroom 4B, blah, blah, blah. Just be there 20 minutes beforehand. It's 8:45. Court started at 8:30. Where are you? I'm going through security right now.
security too. You can't predict if
You
it's going to be a
never
long
can.
line or a
So
short
how
line.
long would you say is the average period of time where you park your car to where you actually get to the courtroom you're supposed to go to after you go through absolutely everything, all the security, the hallways, the elevators, everything?
Well,
Like,
that would depend
how would-
between general public and attorneys.
Yeah.
How would people plan for that properly? Like
So
20 minutes,
I
30
tell
minutes?
them 30 minutes.
30
I say
minutes?
half an hour. You want to be parking your vehicle a half an hour before your hearing.
Yeah, I'd rather be a half hour early than 1 minute late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem at all. I'd rather be sitting there waiting for somebody than somebody sitting there waiting for me.
Fortunately, we had the ability to text.
Mhm.
So I would be like, where are you?
Nice.
And they would message us that they're, that they're
On
going
the
through
way or
security.
parking. Yeah, so you can
And
at
some
least let them know
judges
what's
are
up.
really understanding of it. And then some judges are like, you should have planned for this. I'm like, okay. I'm like,
all the,
and
all
it's
the
like-
variables.
and it's a child support hearing,
Yeah.
right? So it's someone who doesn't have a familiarity with the legal system, or
Right.
it'd be something that's like relatively simple, that naturally, it's this quaint little stay-at-home mom who's
Yeah.
like, well, I don't even have a job.
Even leaving the house is tough, and doing all those things can be
Having
can be
children,
overwhelming
right?
and stressful.
Yeah.
To try to manage everything going on.
Yeah, and it's
Wow.
really stressful, like what you're going to go face that whole. So I find that
Wow.
having our hearings, like here in this room,
Sure.
is a much better for the clients,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
So
Like you
it's-
said, I hope it doesn't go back to the in person. And I
It's-
think there's a lot of things that aren't going to go back to in person because people
Yeah.
found so much success in doing it remotely.
I know.
So much success.
Except for podcasting. Except for
Podcasting in
podcasts.
person?
I want podcasting.
Oh, you mean having remote guests?
No, I want this. What
Yeah.
we're doing right now.
Right.
in,
As
like,
opposed to remote guests.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's a little bit of a personal aspect of it that kind of disappears when you have somebody that is remoting in. Now,
Mhm.
granted, if they're in another country, I get that. But if they're here in Orlando, if
Yeah.
they're here in Central Florida, come and sit down at the table, man.
Exactly.
Because the energy is different.
Mhm. But no, I've been in a courtroom where the attorney is in front of the judge, and the judge is, "Where's your client?"
Mm.
And I
Cringe
want to
worthy.
what goes through your mind when the judge asks you that specific question?
Where the fuck are you?
Just like that. Just like that, too.
That is it.
Exactly like that.
I
We need to sound clip that. That's fantastic.
Like I had to lower the game
want
right
that as
there.
a ringtone. Where the are you?
and I'm trying to provide, a reasonable, response.
Sure.
There are certain times of the day that the judge knows that there are some cattle call type hearings.
Yeah.
Even on other floors, so they'll be sympathetic.
What's a
they'll-
cattle call hearing? Like everybody come in?
Yeah, when
Really?
they have a ton of
Okay.
people coming in, or they know that there's a really big jury trial that day, so there's going to
Gotcha.
be the jury trying to get through security.
Gotcha.
Sometimes some judges are sympathetic and understanding to it, and are like, hey, things happen, and
Some
some
are
judges-
upset. They had a bad day.
Yeah.
They didn't have their coffee.
or
Their gout is acting up.
perhaps.
You never know.
I mean, if I can extend some kindness, really, they have 3,000 to 4,000 cases each. I imagine
oh
that's
my God.
that's an immense amount of pressure to be the decision maker for all this, to
For
be the
all
person
of those
who,
cases.
to be the person who
Wow.
has to take a look at what's going on and keep control and
It's determining somebody's future.
Right. And then it's these yappy little attorneys, right? You've seen it.
Nobody likes the yappy attorneys.
I imagine that at some point they're like, what in fresh hell today?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. What are we going to hear today?
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Oh God, you.
Are people genuinely happy when they see you walk into a courtroom? How do you think the judges feel when they see Erin
The
Morse?
judges like me.
Yeah.
I get along well with the judges.
That's good. That's good.
Not opposing counsel.
Well, I mean, that's one thing.
There are some of them though
They're
that
just
I
scared
get
of you.
along.
They're afraid of you.
I get
And
along
it's because-
very well.
it's because
It's like that scene in The Office where they're doing the fire drill, like everyone stay calm, stay the fuck calm. That's what happens when Attorney Morse walks in at opposing counsel, is like just telling everyone, like, stay calm,
It's okay.
stay calm,
It's
stay
okay.
calm.
It's fine. It's fine. I mean, we're pretty much
gonna be
lost
okay.
already because she's involved. We should just give up and go home. But yeah, we're here.
But that's the thing, Erin. When you walk into the room, like your confidence just, I don't want to say the word reeks, but it
Radiates.
It radiates.
Radiates.
Another R word. Perfect. And it radiates into the room. And I remember
It reeks. It reeks.
the first time you
I like
and
her. She's funny.
ever talked when we did Chaos, you had said, I demand control of the room. You demand everyone's attention. And
You take it.
she takes it. There's
Yeah,
no
you take
safety
it.
word. I mean, she is the boss. She's Charles. She's the commander in chief. She's everything.
Charles in charge.
Exactly.
Of our days and our nights.
And I think that's like kind of like where I want to sway the conversation in regards to confidence. Whether it depending on the situation, is it a good or a bad thing? Because in your field,
I mean, you're barking up the wrong tree. I think confidence is a great thing.
you think
Ditto.
confidence is a great thing.
I,
Okay.
I stand. Oh yeah,
And I
absolutely, 100%.
I try to.
You're confident in your answer. Huh?
Yeah,
Aren't I always? I'd like to also believe. It's so cheesy. I'd like to also believe that I try to give other people or the people around me confidence. I don't have confidence by swiping at other people.
Mhm.
yeah. And
I'd like to think
that I
that
don't
I'm
think is
confidence.
confidence. Like
No.
And that's kind of what I
Narcissism.
want to exactly like confidence. Specifically, confidence is not power. Those are two completely separate things.
right.
Like to walk into a room and feel confident is an inner strength. And I'm confident about this case. I'm confident about what's going on. I know exactly what's happening. I know who I'm up against. I know what I'm talking about. I'm 100% confident about what's going on. It has nothing to do with like control or power. When somebody powerful walks into a room, that attention is given to that person. They don't have to take it.
Yeah.
When somebody walks into the room and they're radiating that kind of like essence,
Mhm.
it's not that they come in and they take command of the room. The room gives it to them.
Right.
And everybody in the room is just like, there's Erin Morse. The velvet ropes part, lights shine down, confetti
Yeah,
falls
she
from the
makes me get the
ceilings.
Bluetooth code to the speakers in the room to make sure I play that right on
What's
point when she
her
walks in.
entrance music?
Oh, gee.
like if she was a WWE wrestler and she was ba ba da ba, like what would her
No, she
song
wouldn't
be?
be Cena. She
I
wouldn't
know
be
that, but
Cena.
what would it be?
I feel that hers would be more of a Stone Cold because, like, oh crap, like the glass shattering, the rock music going on, everyone just getting off their seats, like, yeah, because like I'm the Rock because like usually I'm kind of questioning
That's confidence right there. I
I'm
like it.
questioning you right there. Like, do you smell what the Rock is cooking?
Yeah.
It's like we're going to start this right now, but I'm going to interject real quick before we start this. You just breach the door, break the glass. Oh, Erin Morse!
Just like that. That's exactly what she
Yeah.
sounds like too. That really deep, raspy voice.
What about
fantastic.
you, Billy? If you had if you could relate or use an entrance theme when you walk into a room, like what would it be?
Probably Moonlight Sonata.
Wow,
Yeah.
It was like so well thought out, very
Yeah.
it
quick.
really was.
graceful and smooth and beautiful and easy because I'm gonna win. Let's just call it what it is. Let's
do
run right
wanna-
to the finish line where you lose and I win, and that's fine. Let's go have lunch. I'll buy tacos.
I do want to change my answer to Goldberg.
Yeah.
like-
Oh, dude, Bill Goldberg was my boy.
Like, boom,
Yeah.
boom. And like I get there, of course, I'm going to be a little extra with the sparklers
Yeah.
and everything, but you know I'm coming.
Gross.
But with being an attorney, like confidence has to be there. You can't be an attorney and just like not have faith in yourself when you're speaking to a client, opposing party, or a judge, right?
Oh, coming from a client point of view, I want my attorney to be confident, to be strong, because I'm putting my faith in them.
Uh-huh.
So it's like I'm stepping out of my specialty and I'm relinquishing that like control or that influence to my attorney.
Mhm.
So if my attorney's like, I'm like, But if they come in and like, listen, this is what we're doing. I'm like, awesome. I don't care what you say after that. You're so confident in what you're going to say. I'm going to back you 100%. Like whatever, however that is. But I think a part of that is not only knowing yourself, but also knowing what you're facing to be able to understand both the dichotomy of both things. But I think a lot of confidence is inner. Like not only is, and we'll talk about Erin because it's fun, not only is she confident in regards to the legal aspect of her life, but I imagine most of the aspects of her life, she's a very confident person, and that's internal. The fact that she's confident in the legal aspect is just a byproduct of her being confident in who she is as a person.
Back to you, Erin.
Same thing with you, same thing with you. When you walk into a room, you don't necessarily have to be on a podcast. You don't have to be in a courtroom. Like you still have that inner confidence that you carry with you, and people recognize that immediately. That's why people are drawn to you.
I feel
and
that
you smell good.
creepy. I am a bit over dramatic. I'm not over dramatic, like over eccentric. I am.
You're a little extra.
I'm animated. I'm very animated.
Yeah, that's
so like
good.
when I auditioned for Disney, I killed it because like you're telling me to move my hand around and make it come alive. Oh, by all means, I'm going to do everything you want me to do.
You did great with Grogu.
I did do good.
You did great with
Baby
Grogu. Yeah.
Oh, Grogu.
Baby Yoda.
Grogu.
Oh, I like this. Now I see why you guys are on opposite sides of the table.
But Erin, like it's a necessity, right?
Yeah, it really is, because if you don't believe what you're saying, why would a judge side with you?
Yeah, and
right?
opposing counsel is going to see you as prey. They're going to see you as not being confident. They're going to be like, yeah.
I love it when they're like, I don't really like litigating. I don't like
You're
going
like,
to court. I'm
excellent.
like,
I love it.
and you just chummed the water.
Exactly. You're like, thank you. You pretty much, I already won.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I was like, cool. I'll set it for hearing.
Yeah.
And just like right there, like you've had situations where opposing counsel just like either one, they really don't want to do it, and they've told you that, because I've been in the room when I've heard that conversation. But
really, were they like, hey, I don't want to take this to litigation.
I don't want to
Please do not do this. Like, I don't want to go to
Yeah.
court.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you will. There are some attorneys out there, and
Wow.
I had a case a while ago where an attorney really didn't want to do it. And I had to like get in, like, no, you have to do this. You have to talk to the state. You have to be a fucking
Yeah,
attorney.
you got to do it. It's part of your job, dude.
No, and I was fortunate enough to learn a lot from a previous attorney. The gambit, the hustle of the criminal world of being a criminal attorney. So I sometimes would talk to the state or email the state on behalf of the attorney.
Sure.
And then sometimes like it would do better me getting involved than the other attorney I was working with. And that's just sad. I mean, it's great that you have staff that's able to work on your behalf and get shit done. But if it's because you don't want to do it,
Well, yeah,
that's
what are you doing?
different.
Yeah, why are you doing this
ballgame.
at all? Like, why are you even doing this? Like, why is this your career of choice?
Yeah.
If you don't enjoy the aspects of it, and granted, there is going to be some of them that are a little more arduous than others, but ultimately, it's like you can't just enjoy the ending. You have to enjoy the process.
Mhm.
And the process is all of the things involved, especially when it comes to law. I can only imagine. I've always been very enamored with law, but like one of my favorite parts about the music business is the business aspect of it. Like it's very intriguing to me, and I really enjoy like the whole process of the music business itself. Take music out of it, it's pure business. 100% copyrights, trademarks, publishing, all of that stuff.
I
Like
took that
that's
in
a
law
huge
school.
thing.
Really?
Really?
I took intellectual property.
Yeah, IP, big time. And there's been a couple. I was involved in a lawsuit a couple of years ago with intellectual property.
Yeah.
Where I was part of a 4-piece band. We were getting ready. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. We were getting ready to put out an album. We already had all of the investment, all of the parts written, everything was recorded. Album was getting ready to go. They got upset with me that I played a one-off with an old band, just a reunion show, and they fired me from the band. And I was like, all right, that's not how that works. That's not how that works.
You're not
like,
there.
yeah,
they don't own you.
Exactly. They just blackballed me from the band, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to have a conversation with them. And I tried. I was like, let's just be cool and talk about this. And they absolutely refused. And they were trying to posting all over social media.
Super expensive lawsuit.
I was happy because the attorney that I had was sympathetic to what was going on. I was recommended to talk to Tom Player, who's a fantastic entertainment attorney right here.
That's
in Orlando.
a great name for IP.
Oh man, it was awesome. So like we had some really good conversations, and that's exactly what it was over. It was over the intellectual property and the fact that they let me go from the band, so I didn't have the opportunity to have any return on my financial investment or the intellectual property that I
Right.
contributed to the music.
Yeah.
And they just decided to cut me off. And I'm like, I'm sorry, that's not how that works. Like, I don't want this to be a legal thing, but I will make it a legal thing.
Well, you have
Let's just
to,
be
right?
cool and be okay. And let's just work through this and have an agreement. And they absolutely refused.
Did you know that one of the things that made the United States unique, and probably one of the reasons that we have such advancements that we do have, is because of our legal protections for intellectual property? So patents, trademarks, and copyrights.
Really?
Yeah, we were one of the
Makes sense.
first, not the first, but one of the first that really provided this incredibly broad, encompassing protection of people's thoughts, ideas, and work products like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many artists or how many people have had intellectual property completely stolen from them, and 100% with no equivocations, like, hey, I'm going to come right out and take your stuff and make it mine. And there was
Right.
nothing protecting them at all. It was just a couple of years ago that mechanical royalties started playing into digital downloads.
Oh yeah.
And that was huge because there was a documentary about 30 Seconds to Mars, and it was called Artifact. They were making a documentary about going into the studio to create their third album.
That's the one with Jared Leto, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had just gotten back from being on tour for 2 years straight. They were going into the studio to make their third album. They were 9 years into a 7-year contract. The max number of years you can be in contract at that time in California was 7 years. They were 9 years in. So they exercised their right to step away from that label. They had played around the world. They had enough fans. They believed they could do it on their own. They were going to create their own label.
Mhm.
They were going to release this album under their own label. They were going to make a documentary about it. They got sued for $30 million. And that's what the actual documentary was about. It was purely about 30 Seconds to Mars, what they were trying to do, how the labels were operating, what was going on with the intellectual property.
Yeah, labels took advantage of a lot of people.
Absolutely. And it was a bad contract. Like, if you look at Lou Pearlman, who was right here in Orlando with
Oh,
NSYNC,
yeah.
Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees. Like,
Huge.
they had
NSYNC
so many.
fan.
And from what I understand, at the height of NSYNC's career, they were making about $60,000 a year
Can
per
you
person.
imagine that?
I can't. Oh
They
no,
had nothing.
that's
Right.
insane.
And at that point, at the end of Artifact, they even had, how they kind of like wrap up the whole documentary, but they give a little update. At
Yeah.
that point, 30 Seconds to Mars hadn't even made a penny from any music they had made, any tours, any merchandise, anything at all. They had made zero. Crazy.
It-
Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
That really is heartbreaking. But another heartbreaking thing that I want to swing into in regards to the conversation, in regards to confidence itself, the borderline between confidence and cockiness. And I know for a
I
fact,
have no idea.
no idea,
No idea. No idea.
because
Just
a lot of times, confidence does get you where you want to go, but then at the same time, people stop you because they feel that your confidence is a bit cocky.
I think cocky is a presentation. Cocky is like if you're being cocky about something, you can stand still and appear confident. You can't stand still and be cocky. Like, there has to be some type of outward presentation of a cocky attitude.
Mhm.
Like, you walk in and you're just kind of a little pompous, a little cocky about it. Like, and there's a big difference behind that. I think one of them is kind of recognized in somebody, like, wow, that's a very confident person.
I think that the difference between confident and cocky is going to really be your audience. I'm sure that there are plenty of people that would throw me into the cocky. I'm sure that people watching this or listening to this right now is like, oh, definitely. But I think that sometimes it's a product of product of perception. So sometimes when people want to speak negatively about you, that's about themselves,
Yeah, that makes sense.
right? That
They
they
could look at a confident person and be like, God, they're so cocky.
because they're not confident, so
They're
that
not
makes them
confident in
uncomfortable.
themselves.
They don't understand, and they can't perceive or absorb that level of confidence. It feels threatening to them.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Somebody who's
And that
confident
that's an
isn't threatened
insecurity.
by-
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that comes from an insecurity, like she said,
Now-
in themselves.
Now, don't get me wrong. There are pompous and cocky people for sure,
Yeah.
but I think that ends up being on that like show off kind of way when they're
Yeah, they're kind
that's
of
when
peacocking a little bit.
when
like,
someone
look at
wants
me.
to harm or swipe at someone with their confidence, right? When your confidence intends to take someone else down, that's what's cocky and pompous.
Yeah, and
et cetera.
that's borderline. I mean, kind of like we were talking about that earlier, a little bit of it starts to beg into narcissism, you know, a
Yeah.
little bit of like, now you're using this as an outward tool to hurt somebody else or bring them down because you're so confident in who you are and what you know. Instead of just being that confident person, now you're lashing out at them to try to demean them and bring their own self-worth down. Where honestly, if you're talking to somebody that's not confident already, you don't have to do that.
Mhm.
You know, there's no reason for that. And if they are confident and you're confident and you do that, it's kind of a cheap move. You know, it's like, just be confident, stay true, stay pure, stay professional, and rock and roll. You know, if somebody else's insecurity gets in their way, that's their fault.
Right.
The idea of confidence and cockiness in a relationship does, like, how would I say it? When you meet someone and they say, like, let's say you when you met Sam, what was it about Sam that, like, your now husband,
Mhm.
that, like, got you, like, hooked you line and sinker?
Tattoos. Great
The
hair.
tattoos.
Fantastic teeth.
Yeah, he had a good smile. He
Great
looks like
smile.
Matt Damon's hot son.
Mwah! Good night, everybody.
That's awesome.
And that's it for us tonight. He, you know, all right, he'll tell you this story, and I don't know that, like, I realized it, but after he tells me the story, I remember being like, oh, this guy. When I walked into, we met at a Miller's Ale House, and I was coming from work.
Where dreams are made.
I love Miller's Ale House. They
Love
have the
connections.
they have the kind of rum I like. That's why I suggested it. I was like,
Had you guys talked before and you decided to meet at Miller's Ale House, or was this a random meeting
no, we had talked before.
Okay,
Like, I
gotcha,
was
gotcha.
meeting him there
for the
It
first
was-
time?
Yeah,
Because they had the rum you like.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I didn't
home
tell
court
them that. I was
advantage.
like,
All
you
right.
know, this is local to where we live. It's convenient, but they have the rum I like. So, so
Rum.
when I walked in, now I was dressed up from work, so my hair was done, my makeup was on. You know,
Near to the nines.
Looking pro.
whatever that's my profession, and
Sure.
I also enjoy that. So I'm walking into Miller's Ale House on, like, Tuesday or Wednesday, and I look like professional red
Attorney Erin
bottoms,
Morse.
right?
And I keep going back to this because, like, I think it was the day that we ran into each other at
That wasn't that
it
day.
wasn't that day. Okay.
That was another day
That's
at
another
Miller's Ale House. No, but they I walk in, and I walk towards the bar, and everyone at the bar, it's only dudes there for whatever reason. They all turn and look at me.
Well, you're kind of, radiating confidence.
Well,
The
you
blonde,
know,
the red shoes, the red
Right, I
pumps.
had,
What are they
like,
called? Red bottoms.
yeah.
Red bottoms.
I typically wear, like, a fitted dress and a jacket,
Sure.
but obviously this was, whatever. So
Powerful.
yeah, look the part. So I walk over, and he turns around, and he's the first one to turn back to his drink. And I was like, oh, here we go. Like,
He
look
looks,
at,
he looks at,
I know. He was like, got it. He was like, oh, I gotta look cool, right? We met on a dating app. He had seen pictures of me. He knew it was me. So I go over, and I was like, hey, I'm just getting back from work. I have to use the ladies' room. So, I give him a hug, and I go use the ladies' room when I come back. But later, when he tells that story, and I saw him do it, and I'm like, I don't see the whole bar. It's bar flies, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a
Just
Wednesday.
there.
Yeah.
I'm here for you, Sam.
Yeah.
We're all here for you, Sam.
So he just, it was funny. And
So, do you feel he did that as a level of cockiness or confidence?
I think he did it so that and again, this is from him, and I believe it. He's like, I did it because, I know you're an attractive, confident woman. You don't need a dude who just, like, drools all over you. He's like, that's awkward. It's uncomfortable. And
Especially in a
respect
public
you.
place when
Yeah.
you're first meeting somebody where they're just like, no,
I've gone on
no,
dates
it's not gonna work.
like that, where they're like,
Really?
yeah, I'm not kidding.
Oh,
I
how
had to leave.
cringy.
It was very cringy. He was like,
Oh.
you're really pretty.
Yeah.
And I was like,
thank you.
Obviously, I know. I have a
Especially
mirror.
for a first date. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. Like, if you've been seeing each other for a while and you come over and you're looking,
Yeah,
you know,
like, it's a good
stunning.
day.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good day.
yeah,
You're like, wow,
yeah.
you look really beautiful today.
Yeah.
But very first time
No, it
you're
was
ever meeting
so
somebody,
cringy.
it's like they're like, oh, you
It
look
was
so
so
good.
cringy. I felt like I had to go. Like that was.
You're like, and date's over.
I was like, I'll pay. I'll pay. I need
Shortest
to.
date ever. I
Here's
didn't
my
even order a
card.
drink. I'm gonna pay for your drink, and I'm out of here. I'll see you later.
So yeah, it was really really cringy. So
But
so
Sam
he-
was good.
yeah he
Sam
wasn't
killed it.
cringy.
He did well.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. And
So, what was it? His confidence that killed it?
I felt like he was. I don't know how to explain it, but he was genuine. He wasn't like creepy, right?
Right.
He didn't have that.
That cringy kind of like, yeah.
Yeah.
I think his response to that is very, very interesting because there's a lot that goes on inside the mind of a man
Yeah.
when we see a beautiful woman that we've been talking to in person for the first time.
Yeah.
Like we're still Neanderthals, so
Yeah.
our mind gets flooded with a lot of different things. So the best thing to do is,
or you lose all the blood supply.
oh yeah, absolutely. And everything gets really flush, like the lights just turned on in your rearview mirror, and like everything gets a little scary real quick.
I mean,
But
it's hard.
one of the-
Things get hard. I'm
One,
sorry.
one of the gross. One of the best responses is to be like,
Yeah.
back to the drink.
Exactly.
This gives us a moment to think,
Right. You
to
have
process.
you're doing something
Yeah, this
that
is our
isn't
comfort.
unnatural.
This is our comfort zone. Brings it
your
right back
blanket.
to it, and then we get to say, okay, we get rid of the first initial couple responses, which is,
And he had probably a little extra of an opportunity because I came and I
Yeah,
gave him a hug and then I walked
then
away
yeah,
and
yeah.
came back.
He got to process.
Yeah, he got to
And
breathe.
all the guys around the bar are staring at him.
Like, why
She
you?
goes to the bathroom. Everyone's like fist bumping him.
What
up,
Sam?
The irony is that I find my husband very attractive. He is my type.
I
This
find your
was-
husband attractive.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking guy.
But if you see, like, he's a diesel mechanic and he has like sleeves of tattoos and he's,
He's a man's man.
he is a man's man.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I love that. That is like, I was like, that's it. The man's
Like,
man.
sign me up.
Yeah.
How far into the first conversation that you had with him sitting at that bar did you know that you wanted to see him again?
I already liked him. He had a good personality. He had
Sure.
a good texting etiquette.
That's good. That's important.
I judge people on grammar.
Yeah. Everybody should be judged harshly on grammar.
I know I'm a lawyer. I am a wordsmith.
Right?
Right?
I have the worst grammar, and I'm thankful you put up with me, Erin.
I just correct it
And punctuation.
all the time. I will correct everybody's grammar. I
You
don't
just
care.
get a piece of paper bag with red all over it.
He doesn't care.
See
He
me
doesn't
after
care.
class.
When I would give her motions or orders or anything like that, like I'm already giving her the pen. Like,
Yeah.
here, just let me know I'm good to go. And then
Here's the red pen.
there would be there were very, very few times where she just like put her initials on it. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, no, you usually correct. Like, look at it one
You're
more
like,
time.
I'm stressed out if you don't look at this.
Yeah,
Please correct something.
I wasn't confident
Yeah,
in my work at that point. But yeah. So when a woman sees confidence in a man, I'm sure like that right there is a turn
Yeah,
right
yeah.
then and there. Now, Billy, I'm gonna now we're gonna have a conversation.
Let's rock and roll.
When we're talking to a lady, when
Sure.
we're getting to know them, whether it's through a
Yeah, I'd like to
dating
hear
app
it from this
or
perspective.
in person,
Sure.
a lot of times their responses come off either I see it as three levels: either the confidence, they know what they want, they know what they're going for, going after; the cockiness, where it's a bit diluted, or the bitchy responses. Where do you see yourself when you're talking to a woman? Do you want that confidence, or like where
Do I want to see the confidence in them?
Yeah.
Like, are you asking their response to my confidence, or just when I'm genuinely meeting somebody?
when you're genuinely
what do I want to?
meeting them?
The cockiness is kind of old for me. Like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
I don't need to, in talking to somebody, I don't need you to be, I already like you. I wouldn't be here talking to you if I didn't already want to hang out with you. So for you to peacock a little bit and be cocky in front of me to get me to like you, or to get other people to, I don't need that.
Yeah.
When it comes to the bitchiness, like, I don't need that either. Like, why? No.
Now
Like,
Sam loves bitchy.
yeah. No, I mean, well, it depends. There's when I'm first meeting somebody.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when I'm first meeting somebody, like, just, what's up? Why would you be bitchy?
Like I've had
Did I do
I've had
something?
interactions
Am I
where
late?
I've had a ratchet response.
Did I get the wrong?
Oh.
I've had a
Right.
ratchet response. I don't want to say ghetto response, but like a tough response. To questions. I'm not
Like, give me an example.
Ooh.
I mean, you can make one
Okay,
up. You don't
okay,
have
okay,
to
okay.
actually give me an
Yeah,
example.
I'm
sure
actually.
there's
I'm gonna
I'm sure
pull.
there's a few.
I'm
So
gonna
so
pull-
marinate on that.
I'm gonna pull one up.
I want to
Go ahead.
ask you, do you now women who have that more shy kind of ditzy demeanor, What's your perception on that?
Sometimes I think it's a character.
You
know,
think that it's, or they're playing a role, like not their actual
sometimes.
character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They may find it to be maybe cute, or they may find.
Is it cute?
If it's genuine, yes.
Okay.
If they're doing
like
it
I don't
because
possess like any of that.
yeah, if they're doing it because they want me to feel less worried or more confident, so they're going to delineate their own confidence. Like it's like letting me win a video game. Like don't let me win a video game.
No,
like, if you're going to beat me, beat me. Like
exactly.
if I win, I want that to be a genuine thing. So like if I meet somebody, if I meet a woman or we meet for the first time and they're a little shy and they're a little reserved, you can usually tell that in their text messaging anyway. Like there's that sense of personality that exists. So normally it's not like a huge switch when I go from texting with somebody to meeting them in person, because like a lot of people text how they talk. I text how I talk.
Yeah.
It's very, very similar. Like my personality through text and my personality in real life is very, very similar.
Yeah.
So if I were to meet somebody and they're a little shy, I probably got that already through our conversations. But if they were super chill and really confident and really powerful, then I met them in person, they were shy, I would be wondering which one is the real one. Is the shy one the real one? And they were trying to kind of press confidence, or are they actually confident? But meeting somebody in person sometimes can make somebody a little nervous.
And actually,
or a little shy.
My example is a few weeks ago. It was actually like around the first month that I moved in.
Sure.
I had made a friend,
right,
and I invited her over,
right,
and it was DST.
Yep.
DTS.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Your first thoughts on her?
DST actually.
DST.
Yeah. DST.
No. Yeah. DST.
She needs to come into her own right away.
Yeah.
A lot of it was that I like to sit back and watch. Like I like to be the astronomer.
Popcorn.
Exactly. Just to kind of sit back. I like watching Patio interact with people. It's very interesting.
He's got many masks.
He does, and he's very good. They're all genuinely patio furniture.
Yeah.
But like they're a little different here and there. Like little tiny things. But when I
wake up in the morning looking at it, I'm like, which one am I going to wear today?
When I first met her, there were a couple red flags really quick.
Oh yeah.
Like, and it really has nothing to do with the fact that she was a young person, because I've met young people that are extremely confident and they're very cool and they're very chill. But like she was, there were a couple things. Number one, she absolutely refused to put her phone down anytime she was talking to anybody.
Yeah.
Like this was her conversation. Oh yeah. And I'm like, no, I'm out. And another one was she was very, and I was worried about patio furniture because he enjoys some things and she does not.
Okay.
And he asked, hey, is it cool if I do this thing?
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I don't like that.
Whoa!
Not only is he in his own house, but we had even talked about relocating to make sure that it wasn't anything that was going to be, intrusive on something that she didn't really
anytime,
enjoy.
Like I'm with a lady, I try to make them feel as comfortable as possible.
She's a lady. So like right away, I could see you trying to appease her, and you were shedding the beautiful parts of your personality within the first time you met her. And I'm going, I don't like her. She needs to go. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm Commodus. Bye-bye.
No, and the thing was,
I
I guess it was the fact that when, first meeting her, she was attractive.
Yeah.
And I guess, I was,
if she could get out of her own way, she was very fun. She had a great personality. She just couldn't get out of her own way.
She had too much confidence to the level where she was being cocky. Because when her and I went out for a drive to Publix that evening,
sure,
I had mentioned, I had a conversation with the cashier, and the cashier says to me, oh, make sure you come see me next time you come to Publix.
Sure.
Her response was like, oh, don't tell me I got to cut a bitch. I'm like,
that was her just being nice.
Yeah.
So here's remember how I said cocky
nice
is when people need to swipe or take from you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You asked her if you could, first of all, you asked her for permission. Right? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. First of all. And then it was something that naturally you almost were asking me for permission, implying that I'm probably going to do this anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that you were just being polite and cordial.
Correct.
In a social setting. But then she had the audacity to say no, as if she has control over your life
already.
On the first time
the very
she dates
first
you.
time they met.
Right.
Like the
so do you see how that's the difference between confidence and cocky? So my husband had a similar activity that he likes to do, right? And when he asked me about it, I said, at the time, you know, I typically don't. I was like, no, I don't do that. But
Yeah, do your thing.
yeah, do you think?
Yeah, do you, boo-boo?
Yeah,
I
do
can
you.
wait. I could wait. I could put up whatever you
Yeah, yeah.
want.
I don't need anybody to conform to a specific cookie cutter shape that I have for somebody that I want to fit that cookie cutter
Right.
shape.
I'm like, not for me, not today.
Yeah, that breeds resentment. That breeds just they're trying to be somebody that they aren't, and in time,
but I don't
that's not
want
going to work.
that. Like,
Exactly.
I don't
Nobody
want
should
to do that to anybody, right? Just like even how I run my firm, I try to push people into the parts and the things that they're good at by their nature, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to push people to kind of go against their nature, right? Go against what they're good at.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like mold
'cause
them and
the
put them
pendulum
towards
will swing back
Mhm.
over
exactly,
time, especially
so,
in relationships.
best example is you,
Man, I imagine you see that a lot.
right?
Mhm.
You had never been a marketing guy,
Never.
but I'm like, you're good at this. You're good at these other
Yeah,
things that
absolutely.
will translate well into marketing.
I thought that was
And
really
because-
awesome, by the way. Third party, when he was telling me that you guys
Yeah.
had that conversation, and he was kind of explaining to me what was going on, and like that shift in responsibility, or
Yep.
kind of like that new pursuit that you were taking on, and you were
Mhm.
were fully involved, and you were like, yes, absolutely do that. Like, that was so awesome to hear, for you to recognize a skill that he had that he didn't necessarily recognize maybe as
'Cause-
much, and
because
then
the
you
thing
gave him
is-
the afterburners. You were like, yo, do it. Like,
Yeah.
go and do this. You know,
Right.
if you allow people to do what they want to do, you're going to get a fantastic result. If you just say, hey, here's an agenda, you need to do these things, and they don't like doing it, they may get it done. But if you let them do what they want to do, you're
They'll
going to see
thrive.
passion in there,
They'll
Oh,
thrive.
definitely. And
With all
I
people.
enjoy
which builds their confidence.
the creative freedom that you give me when it comes to all the marketing that we do here at the
Yeah.
firm, and it's flourished, and there's still so much stuff that I'm learning day by day, and you've basically cracked the confidence, and then I cracked the shell that was like holding back my confidence in this, and now like I know what the fuck I'm doing, and I'm excited, you know, when I come in here every day,
Yeah.
looking at
Well, and I
squiggly
think a
lines
big part of that is
and
the fact that
translating them to know what I have to do to
you
make
know
sure
you have her support.
yeah.
And that's a huge part of it. Like, you know that she appreciates
Oh no!
what
Previously,
you do.
when I was
You
given
know,
the opportunity,
right.
I was given the opportunity, but I didn't have the actual support from previous staff.
Sure.
And then finally,
And that takes away so much.
yeah,
Like, when you don't have the support from your staff, when you don't, it's like, hey, go ahead and do this, but we don't support you. It's like, well, what? Like, no. It is when the whole team gets together and you're supported by your staff, you're supported by your peers and your elders and people like your bosses, they have your back. Like, we want to, you can lead two ways, faith or fear. That's really it. Like, if you lead by faith, you're pulling the sword, you're running in, and everybody's following you. Like, yeah, let's follow Erin. She's got this. Then there's the other one that was like, hey, you go in there.
yeah.
I'm going to chill here.
Or I'm going to stab you with my
Yeah,
sword.
or if you turn around and come back, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really scary when that happens. So to have somebody not only support but motivate you to take a new step in a brand new avenue because she recognized something in you.
Mhm.
Not only is that a really good boss,
yeah.
but that's a good person, like a good friend, and she's encouraging you to like explore these new things, and then she's supporting you. And I think a lot of that confidence
I mean, I
comes
reap the
from having
benefit.
that support. Oh, of course.
I reap the benefit.
Oh
I
yeah.
tell them that. I'm like,
Oh,
look, I'm
yeah.
going to reap the benefit on the fact that you're good at this
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you thrive in this
Yeah.
environment.
And it's mutually beneficial
Yeah.
for everybody. I feel like he gets
Symbiotic.
experience, and yeah, exactly. He got to bring the confidence that he has with his podcasts to the legal realm,
Yeah.
you know, which I think was really cool that you bridged that gap. You were
Yeah.
like, hey, I know you're confident in these areas, and you may not have bridged the gap to the legal realm, but let me build that bridge for you,
Yeah.
build that encouragement, build that confidence, and set you free.
I love you guys.
Yeah.
You're building my confidence. I love it. But the
But
whole
confidence is not competition,
no.
True.
right?
I
Cocky is competition.
Yeah,
Cocky
yeah, yeah.
is want for control.
That's a
Cocky
really good
is you'll
point.
do
That's really
you'll
good
do
point.
what I say because I say it,
Yeah.
right? And I don't. That's different. That's why you can delineate, and I think how you can identify really what cocky is. Cocky is to like take, right?
Yeah.
To take from other people that you feel as though your need, ability, desire to get ahead or be the star means you have to step on the necks of others.
Mhm.
Yeah, you have to step on them to climb.
But I would argue that that person is not confident. That person is
No,
in fact
the
very
opposite.
insecure
100%.
because they think they have to
Absolutely.
be like, I don't do that, so you can't, right? Like
Oh yeah.
she felt almost judged that she was the kind of person that doesn't engage in the same activities that you engage in socially.
Mhm.
And that made her somehow an outcast, and she was
Right.
unwilling to sit there in her
Right.
outcast, right, and be
I
her
love that
own
group.
person, right?
And if
the
she
whole-
takes that away from him, then she doesn't have to worry about feeling that way. If
Right.
she pulls him out of that one thing that he does that she doesn't do, and she feels less about it, she's like, well, if you don't do it, I don't have to worry about feeling less that I'm not involved in it.
Right.
Where Erin went
The-
the other way. She was like, do your thing. No problem. I don't take part in it, but yeah,
It's cool.
no
Let's go.
problem.
That's
I
fine.
don't,
I remember being this is so funny, so stupid. But we played a red carpet premiere in Pennsylvania last year for an opening movie that one of our songs had made it into the movie, which was super cool. So we were invited to play like the red carpet show. And there was another musician that was on before us, completely ill prepared. Absolutely ill prepared. However, whatever. So we set up the sound. I ran sound for her, everything. And she was just she hadn't performed in a while, and you could tell she was very rusty. Like coming from the Commodore and I, we're performing 3, 4, 5 times a week. She performed, I don't know, not much at all.
Twice, right? Yeah.
So like going into the song, the first song that she played, she looked back at me and she was like, "What are you doing with my sound?" And I'm like, "I'm just making sure you sound okay." She's like, "Okay." We get to the end of the set, and she looks at me and she says in front of the entire room, she was like, "Did you sabotage my sound to make yourself sound better?" And I was like, "No, why would I do that? Like, I don't need, you did that on your own." And she was like, "That's crazy. I can't believe you would do that." And I'm like, "Listen, I didn't need to run sound for you at all. I'm just trying to help out. Like the fact that you didn't sound good has nothing to do with me and everything to do with you."
No
Like,
good deed goes
100%.
unpunished.
I was like, if you really wanted to, we can shut down the entire system and we can play acoustically and you're still going to sound just the same way.
Yeah, you're gonna sound like crap.
You're still going to be bad.
Yeah.
So, and for her to build up her confidence, she tried to publicly shame me and accuse me of destroying her set so I sounded better.
That cocky bitch.
And that was a defensive mechanism. I didn't get upset. I didn't get hurt. I knew she didn't mean it, but she felt embarrassed, and she felt the best way for her to stay on that pedestal was to publicly shame me and knock me all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
She meant it.
Yeah.
She meant it.
I don't like her.
Yeah, I was like, she meant it. It's okay, right?
Maybe she did.
But
You're
being
I want to
kind.
think she didn't mean it.
See,
She
now
was
this
just
is the
scared.
difference between your brand of confidence and mine. Is I will call someone out. That is like my brand.
Yeah, I mean, I called her out in front of everybody, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
But she was
But
she was like really upset, and she just didn't have a good set, and it was bad. And you could tell that people were disconnecting. She wasn't engaging properly. Her guitar was not in tune. It was really old. The strings were old. She didn't take care of her equipment. Instead of owning it, she wanted to blame the person closest to her,
Right.
which was the
Well,
nice
I
guy
think it's a lot
running her
easier
sound.
when like you are able to put blame on someone else than
Yeah.
yourself.
Oh yeah, and we're standing in front of the entire staff, like the entire crew. There were probably 200 people there.
Yeah.
You know, and she just calls me out in front of everybody, and my family is there. Everybody had come from all over the country to
Yeah.
like see this, and they knew me, and they're looking at me like, "Oh, Billy's
You
got
good, bro?
Billy's kind of a firecracker.
Amazing.
Like, what is he gonna do?
Yeah.
You know, what is he gonna do?" And I looked over at her. I said, "I wouldn't do anything like that, but if you want to see a true musician, hang out for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll show you. I'll show you.
I'll
real
show
quick.
you.
I'll show you real
power
quick."
of the dark
Oh,
side.
And you
I-
can tell with somebody that she just hasn't played. You know,
Yeah.
that's like me doing a podcast 4 or 5 times a week and you doing one every 6 months. And then you being upset with me that I'm a little more fluid and I'm a little more graceful. And you're kind of, you know, stumbling along trying to figure it out. And instead of you
I'm
saying,
doing my best, Billy. All right, get
yeah,
off my back.
instead of you saying, "Man, I need to play more so I get better," what you decide to do is you attack me as a person and you try to
It's
destroy my
deflecting.
public image.
Yeah.
You know, and that right there is
and that's
such
the thing.
a
Like you
huge
and I
lack of
have
confidence.
dealt with that in
Oh,
our
yeah.
in our world, in our little
Oh, yeah.
community.
I had-
so many
Oh, yeah.
freaking times.
I had an opposing client who was not represented, so we called them pro se, right? So he was a pro se client, and we, Attorney Bonilla went to a hearing, and it was like compel documents. He's non-compliant. We can't get what we need to move this case forward. Whatever. In the hearing, apparently, he went on this like rant where he was like, "Waka waka waka," waka," just talked too
Just like
much.
that.
Just like
Oh
that.
my
Sounded just like
God,
that.
Yeah,
it
the
sounded-
audio transcript is amazing. from
Yeah,
that
the
hearing.
stenographer is like waka waka
Waka,
waka
waka,
waka 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 waka. Okay, that's fantastic.
So,
Can you read that back to me? Yes, I've got waka 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 waka. That's
like
nailed it.
the parents in
Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
That's about what it was worth anyway.
so we're on the phone later, and he makes this claim that we don't tell him what he needs to do. Well,
Wait,
the conversation went this way. Okay, I don't represent you, and I won't be giving you any legal advice, so I won't tell you.
There you go.
Yeah, I won't be telling you.
I was about to say, how does that fall in your realm of
It
responsibility?
is not. It's not. We wrote a letter. This is what you're obligated to do. We sent out the notices. We filed them with the court, and then we set it for hearing. You know what? This is on you. So he goes, and then you try to make me look stupid in front of the judge. And I was like, I'm going to stop you right there.
Yeah.
You did that all on your own.
You made yourself look stupid in front of
And
the
he
judge.
was like, fair enough.
And I watched you do it.
You did that all on your own. It was your own words.
Oh, that happens. It happens a lot. And
So he tried to like blame me because he's a non-compliant moron.
Yeah, exactly. And so instead of them taking responsibility,
blame Erin Morse, you're able to blame Erin Morse.
You can go to blameerinmorse.com right now and sign up to blame her for random things.
You should. We
like at work today, one of the bathrooms was out of toilet paper. I went right to blameerinmorse.com.
It's like that meme, thanks Obama.
Thanks Obama.
Blameerinmorse.com.
With the cookie that didn't fit in the glass.
God damn it.
Thanks Obama.
And I think a lot of to gain confidence, we have to be challenged.
Yes.
You know, to be a confident podcaster, to be a confident attorney, to be a confident musician, to be a confident anything, really, you have to gain that yourself. It's an own personal journey.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can't get it from somebody else. You can have the same person or different people tell you, you're great, you sound great. That's not where the confidence comes from. No. You have to believe you're great. Because you're going to have those shows where, like, I mean, we've played shows to thousands of people. We've played shows to 4 people.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes you can't have that confidence specifically based on the influx of information you receive from people that are watching you. You have to know that you're confident in what you're doing and who you are and your performance in court, on a stage, behind a microphone. You know, you have to truly believe it, because if you base your confidence on what you hear from other people, when you don't hear it, does that mean your confidence is gone?
Yeah,
like that's not confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's not the confidence I think we're talking about. Like, I think we're talking about that internal confidence that we gain over time and experience.
But people always have something bad to say about you. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. If they have something bad to say about you, it's because
you're doing something right.
Exactly.
So not that I believe everything he says, but my late husband idolized him. You know who Grant Cardone is?
No. Who's Grant Cardone?
He's
fantastic name.
He's kind of gimmicky, but he's like one of those, like, I'll teach you how to make $1 million, and he, you know, whatever.
Gotcha.
He's like a business coach.
Okay.
But real gimmicky, kind of loudmouth. He's entertaining to watch. But one of the things that he always tells you that you know you're on the path to success is when you have haters.
Yeah.
So you should thank them, right? You need those people to hate you, because people are going to dislike you for the mere fact of your success, right?
Absolutely. Or the fact that you're doing something and they're not. Like, you're finding success because you're busy, and it's motivation to some people that are like, man, Patty is like, I look at it as motivation. I love watching my friends succeed.
Yeah.
I love watching them get featured in articles and on magazines. I love watching them get music videos, get 1 million views. I love that, because that encourages me, that says it's possible.
Oh yeah.
You know, then some people look and they say, man, what a dick. Like, I hate that guy. I don't like his success. What a sellout. Yeah, exactly. Like, I wonder what he did to get those views. I bet he paid for them. Like, they don't want to accept the fact that somebody's hard work is actually paying off, because that means that they are realizing they're lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that they have not put
in the time,
or that they don't inherently have the value, right?
Sure.
Because some people can really want it and really put in the hard work, and sometimes it's just not there for them.
Yeah, that's true.
Something my mom had to try to kind of.
Well, sometimes they're just destined for something else.
Right, exactly. That isn't their skill set, right?
The universe will tell you.
I got told a long time ago, not everyone's going to be the captain of the football field. Not everyone's going to be the quarterback. You have to find your place, but you have to excel where your place is at.
Absolutely, 100%. That's a good team player right there. And
exactly.
I think the best way to be a good leader is to know how to be a good team player.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I got mad respect for people that work themselves up through the ranks, that started in one small area and then work themselves all the way up to where now they are leading a team, and they understand how to lead a team because they understand the individual positions that each of their teammates are actually working, so they can coach, they can help, and their teammates can have confidence in their leader, knowing that they also maintained those significant roles and they did it successfully. Right. So it's like, I'm going to listen to Patricio, I'm going to listen to Erin, because they've been here before, and they didn't just get this top role and they're trying to tell me how to do my job without top. Yeah, exactly.
He's like, I clearly have slept my way to the top.
Oh, super.
I was like, you slept with the wrong people.
Top. Top of what?
Yeah.
Top of super.
Yeah, I was like,
wow.
My mom used to always tell me, you know, not because something that was hard for me to absorb or understand is I really thought, especially when I was younger, and I still don't know that I feel like this is I don't know that I think I can save everybody, right? I have a big superhero complex,
I
big
gotcha.
time.
Yeah.
So I think everybody can do it. I really, really, really believe that.
It's one of my greatest faults.
Oh, I really do. So I used to always question to my mom sometimes when I would see my
What's up,
friends
Trent?
maybe not go the same path as I did. You know, one of my really good high school friends, she did so good in school. From my perception of her, school was very easy for her. She got really good grades. I remember being like proud of her that was like, I liked
Was she
studying with
involved
her.
in stuff in school? Like, was she involved in student government union? Was she involved in
Yeah,
extracurricular
she
activities?
just, and she just was fun to be around. Like, I don't know. I really liked her. And then she got a full scholarship to a really great school.
I feel there's a huge but coming.
There is.
Oh,
There is.
Damn.
She dropped out after the second semester
What?
because she wanted to work as a waitress.
Wait. No.
It took like this strange. She had a full scholarship, including
There's
covering
no way
her housing.
that would there. What was the catalyst there? Like, there had to be another motivational factor or variable that came
Well,
into play for her to say,
she
"I'm
came
going to
from-
give up everything and be a waitress."
No
no offense to waitresses.
No, but this is
Well, what the hell?
We've all worked that field.
Oh yeah, dude, I worked the restaurant industry for a decade. It's
So-
humbling.
she had a difficult family background, and she personally, like, she had a physical, like a kind of disability, but it didn't really hold her back.
Right.
But it was like a childhood thing that just, and if I describe it, everybody who knows us who went to high school
Well,
know
no.
who I'm talking
I'm not
about. So
checking.
I can't.
We don't call anybody out here.
I graduated high school with 147 people. Like, they
Oh,
probably are
definitely
most,
know.
yeah, they'll
Yeah,
definitely
they're all
know.
watching this right now,
But
judging you harshly.
but she was just like, oh, I really didn't have a lot of money. And I think it was socioeconomic. I think it was that she came from a very like poor background. Her father wasn't ever in the picture. I think her mom had addiction issues. I think,
Oh, that's tough.
there was a lot of those kind of things. So I think she couldn't see it in herself.
Right.
And sometimes we're our own worst enemy.
And it's just, I remember
Most of the time.
It really upset me on her behalf because I'm like, this is such a good opportunity that, I have to take
Kind
out
of feel
loans
for
for
her.
school. And
You're
I was
like,
like, but
man.
I'm doing it. Like, look, like I'm getting through school
Yeah.
and this is
Do
a
you
good
think?
thing.
Do you think having to work harder for it motivated you to stick with it, rather than her? I mean, she clearly worked hard in school. When she got good grades, she got a full scholarship. That ain't an easy thing to do.
No, it's
No, it's
not.
But sometimes when we're handed something, it's like if somebody buys me a car, or I work hard and buy the car myself.
Yeah,
know,
when
that's
you do it
she
yourself,
earned it.
you
She earned
Yeah,
it.
she
you understand
definitely
the
earned it.
value behind it.
I
How do
think
you walk away from something like that, man?
I think she had this kind of intention to go back, or, I think that kind of,
Can you blink your eyes and a decade goes
Mhm.
by and you still haven't gone back? Then 2 decades have gone by and you still
Yeah.
haven't gone
Oh,
back.
man.
Happens a lot.
so
It happens
she,
to a lot of people.
I remember talking to my mom because I remember being like, I don't know, I almost took it personal. Like, I was
Sure.
like, how could she do this?
Like, you had so much faith and hope in her.
I did it. Like, I was like, this is your ticket.
How
this
could
is
you
your
do
ticket.
this to
This
me?
is such a
You
good
were the chosen one.
They chose you. I had so much faith in you.
I loved you, Anakin.
Yeah.
Oh man, but
But then I asked my mom. So this is getting to the advice my mom gave me. She was like, Erin, not everybody has it in them. Sometimes the difference between succeeding and failing is showing up, right? Is just
Yeah.
continuing to just.
So where do you think confidence played a role in her decision to step away from her pursuit of a higher education? Do you think confidence played a role in
I
that?
do. I think she really lacked the confidence, and I think it became this self-fulfilling prophecy, right? I'm not
She
capable
created her
of,
own prison.
right? I'm not capable of being this person to do this thing, or look at all of these college students who have different life experiences
Yeah.
than I do, and
Especially
think
coming
right
from
there- I
a
think
tough family, coming from a dad that wasn't there, coming from a mom that wasn't supportive. Like one of the biggest contributing factors to my successful education was the fact that I had amazing parents and a great family structure, encouraging me. Like I remember I had never met anybody that was part of a quote unquote broken family until I got into college.
Patricio.
I didn't know that. So I remember asking them, it was during the first holiday, like first Thanksgiving, my freshman year. I was talking to one of my friends. I was like, oh, cool. Where are you going for Thanksgiving? Well, I'm going to go have dinner with my mom. And then the next day I'm going to go hang out with my dad. And I was like, oh, are they different parts of the country or where are they? They're like, no, they both live in Tampa. And I'm like, I'm confused. Like, why would you go have dinner with your mom, but your dad wouldn't be there? And they're like, oh, they're
Because
divorced.
Aaron Morse divorced them.
They're divorced. And I was like, wow. Like I was so sheltered. Not sheltered, but I just very fortunate. You know, so I was like, man, I didn't even think of that.
See, now I came from a real mess when I was young.
Really?
Like, that's a story we got to tell off air.
Yeah,
Like someday we'll have a podcast dedicated to it.
I think
But-
Ron needs to be involved with that one.
And that right there, we are hitting that hour mark.
Yeah, man, let's rock and roll. This is fun.
You hear what's coming up in the background, right?
I hear it, baby.
And we want to say thank you to everyone who listened, who watched, who was listening to this afterwards. We thank you so much. If you do want to sit down with Erin for a consultation to review your case,
Which you do.
407-900-7451, Law Office of Erin Morse, or go to morse-firm.com. We want to thank Billy Floyd from the Kitchenkillaz.
What's up?
Thank you.
Where can they find you, Billy?
Kitchenkillaz.com, baby.
Erin, any
With
last
an
words?
an AZ at the end, not ERS. Clear your browser cache before you search Kitchen Killers with an ERS. Don't do it on a work phone or device. Incognito. window.
Incognito browser.
AZ,
Okay,
Killaz.
Patricio. Goodbye.
She
Thank
said-
you. That was my last
She
word.
sent me the firewall results from your searches last week. They're not good, Patricio. We need to talk.
I like Latinas.
Oh my God.
Oh no.